States, regionals, and nationals are right around the corner. Here are some tips on how to make the most of these experiences. Perfect your gymnastics in the gym, keep a positive attitude at practice, stay in contact with college coaches, post and share your routines on Instagram, say hello to any coaches you may see in the stands, stay calm, cool, and collected so that you can have your best competitions, and most importantly, have fun and enjoy competing. You've got this. We're cheering you on from Full Out Collegiate Recruiting.
There's a lot of great gymnastics going on around the NCAA, but commentators, we do have a few skill corrections for you. More D3 gymnastics awesomeness, and a back handspring a noti that's not Gabby Van Freyen. Let's go.
Let me talk to them. This week we had them cherry blossom leaves, beeves with the fur. Kendall Whitman, the whole club was looking at her. She hit the floor. Next thing you know, shorty went E. Then bag of sweatpants and the parents with the snacks. Webb hit the floor. She hit the floor. Next thing you know, it really was Joe. Hey, I ain't seen nothing like this before. Penn State dads with the washboard. These crazy senior nights, parents done spending their dough. Hold up, wait a minute, did I see what I think I did? Whoa, let's get this podcast going, because it ain't the same up close. A few days late, but don't worry, J-Mac got the post.
Welcome back to the only podcast with a gymnastics-inspired rap every week, the College Salute Podcast. The place you go for all you need to know about how our Region 5 alums are doing during their NCAA careers. You know Kim, and of course I'm Jason, and once again, Kim has me messed up this week. We are on Thursday recording, so sorry. Who does a midweek trip to Alabama anyway? Kim does.
I do a midweek trip to Alabama to watch acro tumbling at Montevello and surprise my little boo-boo. She was surprised. It was amazing. I did photos, too.
Yes, you did.
And they were good.
Good.
Acro's a whole different animal.
Yes, I'm sure that was an experience on a Tuesday, midweek.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be recording a podcast. I'm over it. Happy belated birthday to Ellie Monahan. It was her birthday on Sunday, and she had a meet. Gymnastics. Sticky feet is now Velcro. Commentators, you can pretty much go with cause all the time. All the time. And I felt like I was back in the 80s with GW bars. And I loved it. Oh, and we need alums to spread out to more teams like ASAP. Too much great gymnastics that we miss because of, our niche, Region 5. I mean, we love the MAC, but greedy, don't you think? Spread the wealth. While you're at it, spread the word about the podcast. And a free way to do that is to support our show by leaving a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to the College Salute Podcast. Tell us what you love about the show or what you'd like to see improved. The reviews help us to obviously know what we're doing and if we're doing well or not, but also others discover our podcast and join our Region 5 family. Help us continue to grow our podcast, which is the only regionally based gymnastics podcast in the country. We continue to show our love for our Region 5 alums throughout their college careers, so please show us some love with a review and a 5-star rating. Well, as we did last week, we're going to start off this week with the Region 5 or R5 University lineup presented by Full Out Recruiting. And as you will remember, we had Michigan, OU, Clemson, Penn State at George Washington. Love that meet. And Oregon State, San Jose. Enjoyed that one as well. So that's where our scores come from. However, due to a vault problem, we didn't have enough vaulters. We did use a few of the D3 conference championship scores, and we also did a floor routine as well. So we definitely wanted to highlight some of those routines because they were phenomenal and their scores were pretty dang good, which of course we don't usually see in the MAC conference or the D3 conference much. But we'll have more on that in a little bit down at the end later in our podcast. On vault, Faith Torres, 985, hop and a slide. She has stuck almost every vault this year, but this one she hopped and then her other foot just wouldn't have it. She needed to take an extra little slide on the foot. So it was a very nice vault. Just obviously the hop and the step, slight step for 985. Very nice. Kiara Hockman. Now, that's a name you probably did not think you were going to hear on our lineup this week. Kiara is from Brockport, and she has one of the best Yurchenko fulls I have seen in a while. I mean, fire. That's what I put in our notes. Beautiful vault. Small scoot back, but the position in the air was gorgeous.
Yeah, don't you remember she went 9-9 that one time?
Yes, and it's just an awesome vault, and definitely it's cool to see that be able to make our lineup because it was phenomenal. You will be able to see that vault up on our YouTube channel, and actually probably our IG, I think 985, huge vault, and it was very, very impressive. Tara Walsh, 9825. This one was under-rotated a bit, but what I like about the vault is it's very nice form. She has great form in the air, beautiful vault in the air, and then just like literally slightly under-rotated for a 9825.
Too bad she didn't do the one she did in warm-ups because she stuck that one.
Oh, of course she did, because that's how it always works. But 9825 is still a very nice vault. Ellie Monahan, I really do like this tuck full version. I think it looks really nice. 9825 as well, small hop back, but a very nice shape. And like I said, I wonder if they're planning on the 1.5 for next year. Be interested to see. And then Kennedy O'Connor is the D3 conference, whatever that conference is, WIAC conference. WIAC vaulting champion. 9825 for her full-on pike off. Elbows were slightly bent, and she even told me, don't look at the elbows. And I'm like, well, of course, now I'm going to look at the elbows, especially as a coach. But 9825, very nice. The full-on, the Laconie vault, as Kim loves to mention in all her EMU telecasts. She always says the Laconie vault.
Yes, because I like to educate while I'm going.
Yes. So the full-on pike off, 9825 for Kennedy O'Connor, and of course she's from Winona State. 49175 for us on vault. So pretty dang good there. Faith Torres leads bars like she usually does if she's in this lineup. Big Ray, hop back on her double layout. So not the stuck landings that she's used to on bars, but a very nice Ray. It was huge. And actually probably one of the farther ones from the bar. She usually catches a little close, and that was really nice. Cassie Barbanente, I put in our thing stick. I do not know if she has done a dismount landing like this in at least the last few weeks, but it was beautiful. Her Jaeger was farther away from the bar. She just needs to push out over that low bar. I always remind her of that, and her Jaeger is usually much better. And so beautiful routine this week, 9875 on bars for Cassie for Penn State. JC4, very nice handstands. This routine locked out, handstand before her toe handstand after her Tkachev, bail hand was gorgeous. Just a step forward on the double layout, small as ever, but I thought this, in my opinion, was a little bit underscored. I know the stepping forward under rotation, a little bit more of a deduction in the mind of the judge, but at 9825, everything else was so solid in that routine. You know, if they would have put up 985 or 9875, I would have no issue with it, but 9825 just seemed a little low. Taylor DeFries, very nice interior of the routine. She got hung up. I don't know if you had seen this routine or not, Kim, but she got hung up in her double layout, and it seemed like forever to come down, and she landed with her chest forward and had to step forward a little bit, and which is unfortunate because Taylor can do layout full outs. And she usually has a big double layout, so 9775. But the rest of the routine was very nice. Her Maloney to her pack was gorgeous as always. And then AJ, big bail hand, beautiful, nice locked out bail handstand, but unfortunately tapped a little bit too much into her double tuck and had to take like 2 steps back. I mean, it wasn't even like a big step. It was like a step and a step, and both were quite big off the blue mat, off the 8-inch mats or the 4-inch mat. So 9775 for AJ, who had some struggles on vault this week, unfortunately. 49.15 on vault for us. I'm moving over to
that was bars.
Like I said, 49.15 on bars for us. Midweek. Anyway, Faith Torres balance beam 9975. Same. I mean, realistically, whatever is different when Faith does balance beam. Solid aerial layout step out. Of course, the back handspring gainer full that drops out of the sky. Beautiful straddle jump. Everything is norm for Faith on beam 9975. Maybe someday a 10 on beam. We'll see.
I mean, Maddie, she's headed right that way.
Well, she's always there. Maddie Gustitis, 9875 on beam. A very solid balance beam routine. No front tuck, which is, upsetting because it's gorgeous, but I know she does have shin issues this year, so that's probably, we're not going to see that, but hopefully she'll put it back in.
What the shin? What the shin?
But very, very nice balance beam routine. Very solid, beautiful back handspring layout step out. Very nice routine overall. 9875. Nice switch half too. 9875. Now Sam Makasu 985. It's a very nice series. She tried to connect her leap series. She went switch leap, and then I'm not really sure if it threw her off. If she's never done that in practice, she kind of just walked back. Like, you know how you like kind of dance and sometimes you walk backwards and dance? Well, she just turned around, walked back to the edge of the beam, maybe a little bit of arm movements, turned around and did her leap series. I was like, okay.
Yeah, she definitely it was definitely interesting. I mean, she made a good decision not trying to connect that because she was very off. But yes. I loved instead of just like dancing backwards or doing like some releve arm movements, she like turns around, does a little boop, a boop, and then turns around again.
Yes, and just goes. But very nice. Second time switch leap, switch half was very nice. So, solid routine. Like I said, it was just kind of weird that was just a weird way to, kind of go back and repeat. Very, very, very apparent that's what she was doing. Sometimes you don't. Usually but it's a little more fluid. No, that was apparent. She was turning around and doing it again. JC Vore 9.8. She was a little bit shaky, not shaky, but a couple wobbles here and there. But it's glad to see her up there, solid as she can be on beam, and she's doing real well on bars and beam the last few weeks for Michigan.
You know what though? She actually did. She didn't get the awkward coach hug that the first like 3 people got though. She got, the last 2 got like the normal great job hug. The other ones, it was a very awkward moment at the end of the beam there.
Well, maybe they were struggling with some beam routines in the week.
Maybe.
And JC was just rocking it.
She did good.
Yeah. Ellie Monahan on our beam lineup for 9775. A very nice front toss Corbett.
It's a Corbett. Does. It's not a back dive.
Well, it's not a back dive anyway. I would call it a back swing down, or I've heard it called as a splash down.
Okay, but the
back dive is that.
The technical term is a Corbett, and let's call it by her name. Okay. Say her name.
Corbett. Yes. 9775. Very nice routine for her for the 49.275 on balance beam. Over to floor, Faith Torres. Same thing as we have on beam. Beautiful double layout. She, I think, scooted her foot in the front a little bit on that one, but front to double back, a step back, but controlled. Normal routine for her. Same, just. The performances are very, very similar no matter what she does. Her tumbling's always great, 9.975. She has gotten a 10 here, obviously this year, I mean.
Yeah, just saying.
But, she just kind of hovers around that 9.95, 9.975 every meet on floor. We got to see Kylie Kaminsky. She is a former gymnast from Queen City, and we got to see her. I feel like we have watched George Washington and she wasn't in the lineup, and then we don't watch George Washington and she does vault a couple times. She did floor here. Very nice double back and a Rudy, but the one thing that I have never seen in her routine before, if she has done it, but she's like Helen Hugh, like she does that back handspring chin roll thing.
Well, she doesn't do a back handspring chin roll, but
it's a back handspring chin roll.
No, it's not a chin roll.
Yes, it is. It rolls down in her stomach.
It doesn't. She goes back. She does like a layout she does a run of layout to her stomach. It's like
no, she doesn't. She rolls just like Helen Hugh does. Go look at it again. She does the exact same thing as Helen Hugh does. It's like the roll out thing. She didn't land on her stomach. She does land on her stomach, but she rolls out of it. It's like a Helen Hugh skill.
No, it's not. She does a round off, and then she goes up in the air and does like a layout, but and lands in a Shishinova position. Not like she doesn't roll.
Okay, well, I'm obviously they missed that because it looked like the roll that Helen Hugh does. So I thought it was like Helen Hugh but maybe it was just the smash down to her stomach. So it was cool, regardless of what it is. It goes down the side of the floor, and it was cool to see. But like I said, we haven't seen Kylie compete much this year or at all actually, and it was good to see. 9.875, very solid tumbling for her. Number 3, Emma Brookins from Brockport. She gets in our lineup. I love her standing hurdle jump choreography. She had that in her routine in club, but it's cool. Like it goes backwards. It's like one of those hurdle jumps for like vault training, but she goes backwards with it. It's really fun. Same routine, I think. This is the exact same routine as she used last year.
I had trouble watching her routine because it was all the video was super blurry that you sent me, but I do like her.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes when they get the videos and then I share them, they get worse. And I wish it was a little bit easier to share videos. But strong tumbling forward, but she has beautiful front double full, beautiful Rudy. But I feel like it just seems like she runs literally off the floor. Like she just runs, like keeps running, like she's vaulting into her tumbling because he runs so far away. But it was funny. But it was a great routine, 9-8 for her and making our lineup. Ellie Monahan, a much better double back this competition from the last time we saw her do floor. Her chest was up, good landing on it. Overall, very nice routine, 9.75 for her. And then Tara Walsh, 9.725. I love her front pass. Her front pass is cool. Actually, Bree also does that pass where they do front layout, front full, front tuck, and it's just really cool combination pass. Lots of bonus there. So 9.725 for Tara. One great routine.
I'm glad she's in the floor lineup. Yes. I like her on floor.
Yeah, she's competing 3 events. That's awesome. Hopefully I don't know if she does have another year of eligibility that she's able to use or not. But I'm glad she's making the most out of this year at Clemson for sure.
Kylie's last name is Kazmierski, not Kaminsky.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
It's Kazmierski.
All right. Thank you, Kim, for correcting Kylie's last name. 49.125 for us on floor for a 196.725. However, that does not help us at all. We do not use this score, so we can throw it out. Our NQS did not change at 197.155, and our 9th place did not finish as well. Change at all. We're still 9th as NQS. So 197.155 will continue on to next week. No change in 9th for us as a team.
Alrighty then.
Well, we do not have any social salutes. Unfortunately, I just did not pay attention to them this week. And behind the scenes, we obviously were not behind anywhere. So we have no behind the scenes this week, but Kim will be at Eastern for her last regular season commentary next week. So we'll have some behind the scenes stuff probably from Eastern Michigan.
We will. It's senior night. So
I'm sure there'll be a lot of tears. All right. Fab Five. This first one, I didn't even know who this athlete was.
Well, did you watch the Oklahoma broadcast?
No, I didn't know who this athlete was.
Oh, like in general?
In general. When they did the whole spiel about her being in the military ROTC or whatever, I didn't even know who it was.
Oh. I saw her like once. I like her a lot. She's very bubbly. But I did, because there was their military appreciation, and last Friday was military appreciation all over the place. But I wanted to I just wanted to mention it because I thought it was very cool that they really did a story on her, really shined a light on the fact that she is doing both and how hard it is to do both. Because depending on what kind of military commitment you have, if people that are in the National Guard have to literally leave 2 weekends a year, 2 weekends a month, 1 weekend a year, whatever it is. And if you have a meet that weekend, you just have to go. There's nothing you can do about it. But I just thought it was very cool, and hats off to her for doing it, being part of the military, and thanks for doing that. And must be difficult though, because and her thing that she's part of they're called the Flying Sooners.
Yeah, that was cool. That was
her military branch.
Yeah, it was just a cool story, but I unfortunately apologize. I didn't even know she was on the team. I didn't even know.
Now you do.
So I do, and it was a good story.
Well, she didn't compete last year as a freshman, and I don't know how much if she's competed.
I know they said she has done exhibition. That commentator says she has competed exhibition before.
So there we go.
But I just didn't know. We should have talked about this last week, and it's kind of somewhat fitting, but not fitting, because Lily Lippett did not compete at George Washington because they were resting her, and they made mention of that in the broadcast. But last week, she had a social media post on an award that was given to her based off of her brother. For those of you who don't know, Noah Lippett, her brother, had passed away last year in 2024 in a motorcycle accident in Washington, actually. Washington, D.C. I think it was Washington, D.C. So this Clemson last week at their last home meet, or the home meet last week, gave Lily the Lance Corporal a Spirit of Decorp award for Lily. And it's an award, I guess, it's honoring or recognizing an individual gymnast who embodies the unwavering camaraderie, selflessness, and unity that defined Lance Corporal Lippett's service in the United States Marine Corps. And so she was the first honoree of that award, and she was very excited about it, and the fact that there's an award for her brother, and they do a whole social media thing. It's on the Clemson social Instagram as well as Lily's. You can look that up, just check it out and listen to it. But we wanted to mention it last week, and we forgot to put it in there. And so we wanted to put it in this week, especially since we didn't get to see Lily. So we got to see Clemson, so we'll talk about her. But we wanted to mention that, just make sure that people understood that there's going to be an award now in Noah's honor at Clemson, and that's cool.
Yes, very cool. Continuing with the military appreciation theme.
Yes.
Mizzou and the nose ring. The great nose ring of 2025. So, do you know you cannot have facial piercings in the world of gymnastics? Now, which surprises me in college, because it's college and they can pretty much have anything else they want. They can have no back leotards. They can have as many earrings as you want, but evidently do not put anything in your face. You can have tattoos, but nothing in your face. Now, in club, I get it. However, so I thought it was funny because one of the Mizzou girls has a nose ring, and there was a whole thing with Shannon Welker, and he had done an interview and mentioned that the judges gave one of their athletes a warning for the nose ring, and then all of a sudden he had a nose ring in his pocket, and what do? It's just what happens. You have a nose ring in your pocket, and then they go 198. So,
yep.
I just thought it was funny. Nose ring in your pocket. Just let them have the nose ring, people. It's fine. As long as it's not a hoop.
Right, exactly. What's the difference between a nose ring and an earring? I don't understand. I mean, I would think it would be more you're going to be closer to your ears with your arms and stuff than you are your nose.
Exactly.
So, yeah. But, rules are rules.
However, it was funny during COVID time, and people who had nose rings, they didn't take them off because they had those masks on.
Yes.
So, we've also started our senior night commencement. Senior nights have started. I can't handle it. And nobody should ever be allowed to graduate. Ever.
That would be some big teams.
It would. But I just...
Once you get to your senior year, you just don't graduate. You don't compete anymore. You just don't leave. You just stay there forever.
I just can't handle a senior night. Like, I think as I get older, in my older age, I become a lot more emotional with the senior nights. It doesn't even have to be athletes I know. It's just the senior night. I just cannot. So, we're starting, and we have senior night tomorrow at Eastern, and I'm not going to be able to deal. So, just senior nights.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one for you, I'm sure. So everyone, watch that broadcast.
Yes, watch it.
And our fifth of the Fab Five for me is bars from George Washington. Now, I have watched George Washington. I watched him live at the podium meet last year and really enjoyed it. Love watching them. They're a great team. We need more athletes to go to George Washington, so we watch George Washington more often. However, I didn't recognize or see last year, and now these could all be freshmen because they have a lot of freshmen in their lineup, doing cross-change fronts. Now, it is not a Delchev. For those of you who are back in the days in the 80s where they called everything that turned before it flipped a Delchev, and judges who still do call this a Delchev, it is not a Delchev. Now, they have a Delchev in their lineup. Deanna S. Sherman, it's a very similar name to the Missouri athlete. But Deanna, she does a true Delchev. It is a Delchev. Okay, remember, Delchev comes off like you're doing a bail hand. It's like an Arabian off the bar. It then flips like a Jaeger and catches. It doesn't cross at the bottom. Now, I thought this was a deduction, but apparently I talked to one of the judges that judges college and is big judge here in Region 5. And so long as the cross change is done within the degrees of the handstand. Now, I went back and neither of these are done. They're done like on the fall. Now, I think it should be a credit. I think it should be a cross-change front. It's how you get into the front flip. It's not a turn. It's not like a blind and then the Jaeger. The blind has nothing to do with the Jaeger. Two different skills, completely. The cross-change has to do with the front flip. It's the entrance of the front flip. So I think it should just be one skill. But I don't judge and I don't make the rules. But it's not a Delchev. Just wanted to make sure. It is not a Delchev. And there are judges who still call this a Delchev, and it's not.
And they will die on that hill, too.
Yes. Delchev is actually a male gymnast, and if you watch his high bar skill, you'll see it. It's an Arabian release, one-arm drop, front flip. That's what it is, and that's what a Delchev is. So cross-change front, love them. And I feel like I'm in the 80s because this used to be a big thing in the 80s when the bars were really close. Everyone did the cross-change fronts and stuff like that. Love them. Great. They look good. They're really nice. But Sophia T. and Maddie M. From GW. Gorgeous. But again, watch Deanna. That's a Delchev. And then a very nice Ray. But what I liked about this routine, Tohan stalled her double back from Lola M. Absolutely beautiful circle combination and dismount. Stuck the landing. It was very, very nice. I enjoyed watching GW bars. GW bars and Townsend bars. I love it.
Whenever they said Lola, all I could do is sing the Lola song.
Lola song.
Whatever Lola wants.
That's funny.
Yep.
Lola gets.
Exactly.
Yes. Anyway, but loved GW's bars. Like I said, I felt like I was watching old school bars. But again, let's remember what a Delchev actually is. So.
Yes, let's.
All right, quickly, some D2-3 athlete of the weeks. We've already talked about Oshkosh. Wisconsin Oshkosh won their 5th WIAC. WIAC. They are really good. They have like 7, I believe, Region 5 alums. I think 5 competed, but 7 alums on their team. Very strong. We'd already mentioned Kenny O'Connor is the WIAC vault champion. She's headed to nationals in a couple weeks. WIAC. Headed to nationals. Their nationals in Minnesota. Actually, I think Gustavus is hosting. She won vault. Kennedy won vault at the meet. Mia Lucero, 2nd place on floor. I love her death drop at the end of her routine. Very strong tumbling. She's always been good on floor, but her death drop at the end is great. I love that. 2nd place. She also, I think, was 8th on vault. She won vault last year, so that just tells you how strong sometimes vaulting is. Now, Kennedy was not in the vault yet last year. She did not compete, so but definitely awesome there. And then Delaney Sinkis, who is also from Oshkosh, is the gymnast of the year for the WIAC. So that's always fun too.
Rhode Island College qualified to nationals for the first time since 1998. None of these kids were born yet, and they qualified back then. So good for them.
Correct.
Good for them.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that's the other from the other regional. It's not the WIAC. It's the other regional, whatever it is. But
GEC or
not the GEC, because GEC has Division 1. I forget what it's called, but anyway, it's the East Regional, or for the national championships. And you can watch or see some of these top routines. I think anyone who'd finished in the top 15, I have put up videos, and I did a post.
NCGA.
Yeah, that's it. I did a post for the WIAC championships. You can watch the videos, check out some of the scores and stuff from all of the athletes that competed that placed in the top 15. They're not all who competed. We did have some alums that are not on that post, but they're the top 15 places on the 4 events. So check that out. It's already up. And then I'm planning on doing a little bit of a post for the other regional as well, although we've talked about several routines with Emma and Kiara already with our lineup. So, but we'll have a post on that too. So, but congratulations to our D3 athletes who are now headed to the national championships, the D3 national championships, which I think is the same weekend as conference championships, the 22nd. So we'll definitely have some highlights and on that coming up then too. So. Podcast socials, of course, you got to follow the Region 5 College Salute podcast on Instagram. That's where pretty much everything goes. All of our content goes there. R5 College Salute on YouTube, podcast where you can watch us. Hopefully Kim's not dying of a lung cough today. She's struggling.
She is struggling.
But weekly routines, all the routines, like I said, that I just posted from the D3 WIAC competition, or WIAC, and any extra content that we have. Check that out, the College Salute on YouTube. And please, like I said, subscribe. We're growing in subscriptions. We want to get to 1,000 at some point, and that's, kind of how we do it. But our numbers and our viewing hours have increased. So glad to see it. Glad you guys watching the YouTube channel. And our views for our podcast, our video podcasts, have also grown each week, each time. So that's awesome too. So thank you so much for that. So make sure to watch the follow the College Salute podcast on Instagram and the College Salute on YouTube for more content from our Region 5 alums. All right, they did that.
Or didn't. So, did you know that there's a gymnast at U of M? Divers and swimmers, they make gymnasts also. Sophie Parenti.
Yes.
Her parents were both Olympians in Canada. And one was a diver and one was a swimmer, and they made a gymnast. I just thought it was funny.
Yes.
Just like Olivia Coppola's parents. One was something, and they made a gymnast. Like, good for them.
There you go.
I was sitting and getting my my Chinese foot massage at the Nashville Mall because I had a 5-hour layover, and I don't know why that is what I remembered from watching that broadcast of OU and Michigan, but that's what caught my eye.
Yes, no, she's fun to watch. I mean, her gymnastics is, even if they said it's not flashy, it's not huge. Like, you don't see big double layouts on floor or anything like that. You see consistent gymnastics. She competes 3 events, leads off all 3 for Michigan, and is doing a great job as a freshman. I do like her 1.5 front full is very good.
Yes,
on floor.
Yes. Did you know the Boo Birds were out?
I do know about the Boo Birds. Yes.
Oh my God, I couldn't write that down fast enough. From the Michigan, it was the Michigan meet. The Boo Birds are out. Thank you for that, Gem. The Boo Birds. OU senior families, they got to be on the floor. I thought that was fun. Like, during floor, they get to.
Yeah, they stand in a corral. That's crazy. I mean,
I thought it was very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
And also Anastasia Webb. I mean, Jordan Bowers, her fiance, he's very good looking. Good job, Jordan Bowers. You go, girl. But the OU camera angles were not on point, and that is that SECN minus. And then at one point we were looking at a blue map for a little bit. So
Yes, we had that. We had that at San Jose too. We would finish routines, and then we would look at the mat, look at the ground, look over at the chain that separates the audience from the arena, and then we'd come back. Like, I was like, okay, well.
Yeah, but at one point we looked at a random blue mat, like in the middle of a floor routine, though. Like,
yeah. Well, you gotta make sure the mats are there. We're just there to make sure the mats are good. They're fine.
Yeah,
they work.
exactly.
So.
Anyways.
All right, my girl Kendall Whitman. This athlete, I'm not 100% sure she is the leadoff on vault. I'm not sure why. Because no other vault's going to look good. I mean, yes, they had some very nice vaults. The next one we're going to talk about is also very nice, and we have a discussion on that one too. However, why this vault is going first? She does that. Has her vault, the handspring on, handspring front pike half.
Yeah. And
it's actually more open now. It actually looks good. I remember last year watching it at the podium meet. It was a little more piked live.
Yeah.
This looked more open, but first. She's going first. How do you put that vault first? Then what else do you do?
I'm not sure. But that was my dream vault. I wanted to learn how to do that vault because I liked front tumbling. I love watching that vault. And GW, they have like a plethora of vaults. Like,
they do.
They have the most, like, I put it later down here, but like they have the most unique, like, there's so many different vaults.
Yeah,
like,
they have almost every entry. I think the only entry they do not have is the round off half on, but they have everything else. They have everything else. Every other type of landing or vault, because they also have front handspring front pike, and they also have the cause, which we're going to talk about next. But no, I was just amazed that was first up. I was like, what are we going to do? Handspring double front now? I mean, what's going on? Like, this is the leadoff.
Yeah.
But 9875, awesome vault, wonderful, and she's just fantastic. I mean, just awesome to watch. I'm not how she decided to go to GW, and I don't know if it just when she was coming out of club, if she just wasn't like, they didn't need a 2-event type athlete, even though she does the all around. Oh no, she doesn't do bars, but she does very nice on beam. But that's a grab for GW for sure, and she's made the most of it individually. I think she's made regionals every year. So actually, she made nationals one year, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I think she did
on floor. We'll talk about her floor routine in a little bit. Another GW vaulter, which we talk about the variety of vaults, is Casey Burke. Really, really nice cause, not souk full. Okay. Pretty much commentators, especially for those who don't necessarily recognize vaulting as well, you just know because everyone used to call, everything a souk back in the day. It's not a souk. It is a cause. If the vault continues the direction they come on, it is a cause. Most of the time it is, because that's the easiest of all of them. It is very hard to souk full. It's hard to reverse direction and go the other way. And so you just pretty much just say a cause. Don't even say souk full. It drives me nuts because it's not. And then half the time I have to be like, oh, was it? I go back and look. Nope, cause. It is a cause. So Casey Burke did a nice layout cause, because it's a cause.
It was nice.
Yeah, it's a full twisting vault, so it's a layout cause. Very nice landing, very good shape in the air. Loved it. Awesome job. But again, it's a cause, not a souk. Pretty much just say it is, because that's usually what it is.
Yeah.
A couple vaults from the San Jose competition. San Jose, Michaela from San Jose, a very nice front pike half. Very nice front pike half. Big step back, but it was a big vault. Really enjoyed that. And Jed carries 1.5. That's one of the best actual landings Jade has had. Now, it was a little sloppy in the air, and I was a little bit surprised by that, because usually her vaults are a little bit tighter when she twists. On Yurchenko's. They were a little bit soft, but that landing just dropped in like the knife going to butter. It was awesome. Loved it. And her beam is good too. Her beam was very, very nice. I don't know if you caught the beam routine. Very solid. I like how she puts herself in the place to be the first person to high five everyone. That's really cool.
That's fun.
Even on bars, she goes last. She's over there by the chalk tray. She'd work her way in and then before everyone else, she'd be there high five everybody else. It was cool. It was really fun. Very interested to know if her dad Brian is going to be coaching there next year, since Jade is done. Very interesting, but
we'll have to find out.
We will. But I just think it's cool that Jade's always there for the high five. I think she is a captain. She probably is. But she's very into Oregon State and really just cheers for all her teammates and really gets into the end and gives them credit. So awesome to see. I found this very funny. Velcro for queso. Or Casso. I don't know her last name. I can't think of her last name. But she sticks her dismount. She's from Oregon State, if I'm not mistaken. She sticks her dismount a bit close to the bar, I'm not going to lie. It was kind of a little bit scary. But she did it, and she goes, the commentator says, Velcro for queso. So we talk about sticky feet. Velcro is now the sticky feet. Now you have Velcro on your feet.
And you know what? If it's that NASA Velcro that's on the vault mats, the mat stack,
yes,
then
that you can't get off. You have to pull for days to get that stuff done.
it takes 4 people to get a mat.
It's
moved.
ridiculous. But yes, no, it was an interesting Velcro for queso or Casso. I forgot how you say your name. And I thought that was awesome. So. Going back to the meet, I should have put this earlier, going back to the Clemson meet, the Ray Bale from Lauren R. From Clemson, the height of the Ray into a very nice overshoot. I mean, there are a lot of those. She's not the only one that's doing a Ray to an overshoot in the country, but just the way the Ray flew, lifted over the bar and very smoothly went right into the overshoot with a good shape. Loved it. Very nice. Enjoyed that. I actually enjoyed watching Clemson's bars too, but they kind of jumped a little bit here and there, and sometimes they would show. In that meet, they would show sometimes 2 different angles of the same event, and then they would switch back. They're quickly, they had it wrong. So you saw a floor routine from 2 different angles or a beam routine, and then they would switch. So sometimes we missed a couple of the parts to routines, but that bar routine from Clemson was very nice. And I know this is yours, but I just have to say I love Danielle Sievers, and I'm just glad we got to see her on her 2 events. We don't get to see her as much as we probably should, even though she's good. I don't know if she's been hurt or just she's not quite in the lineup, number 7, but she competed on senior night. You go ahead, you can talk.
Oh, well, let me tell you. Okay, her floor, I was really excited to see her on floor. I was like, wow, I don't remember her. I don't remember this routine. She's only done floor a few times last year, not much this year. But oh my God, her floor routine is so freaking good. It's it is definitely not 100% a classic OU floor routine. It does not align with that at all. It's sassy and spicy and just bubbly and poppy, and she does not stop freaking moving. It goes from one to the other. And the choreography is so good, but I watched this routine twice because I loved it so much, and I was like, can you do floor the rest of the season, please? Because we need to see this the rest of the season. If you're not a fan of OU floor routines, which I know there are people out there who are not, this one is for you. You will like this one. So watch this one.
Yes. No, I was glad we got to see Danielle because Danny is good. Like bars, if she competes on bars. She also competes on vault. She does a Yurchenko 1.5, but obviously the group is so strong this year. Hadn't been needed. She has competed on bars a few times, but I was glad to see her there for senior night because she's a phenomenal. To have a backup of like an athlete like Danielle is just awesome to see. I've always loved watching her, so I was glad we got to see her.
Same.
Yes. Of course, we got to see Audrey Davis because, of course, we do. So.
Duh. Well, let me tell you, that meet, there were some like struggles on some landings on some things, especially the bars, but then it took her and Anastasia Bowers, Jordan Wet, what you know what I'm saying?
She gets too confused.
I got them all confused. It took them to go up and hit their, bar routine dismount landings, yes. But beam, Audrey Davis and balance beam, like you like watching Audrey Davis on bars. Well, I mean, who doesn't? But like it's beam for me because she's just so good. She just floats right down, go one to the other. Like, do you have to graduate?
Yes.
I don't think she does. I think it's a ruse. She doesn't have to graduate. She can come back. It's fine. But it's so good. And then Anastasia Webb, Bowers, Jordan. I mean, do you have to graduate? Because your beam, like, I just don't even understand. Like, I don't understand. Your beam is so good. Like, and they said, like, she hits, like, many, no percentages, Kim. She hits a lot of her beam routines, like, all the time. She just, like, flip, twist, turn, glide, stumble, tumble, like, it's like poetry in motion. I clearly have no legitimate words for it.
Yes. Fun to watch. Enjoyment. Pens down. Yeah. Just watch.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Speaking of beam, now G-Dub, they don't just have unique vault and bars. They have unique beam routines too, because they have press handstand mounts and tumble onto the beam mounts and jump on the beam mounts and straddle the beam. All the mounts. They have all the mounts.
Yeah, no, they are a incredible team. Like literally, can more Region 5 alums go to GW, please? Because
yes.
It's we don't have enough there to watch it on a regular basis because then we wouldn't fill our lineups. So that's the problem.
Yeah,
no, we could watch GW all the time, but they don't have enough alums. Please. Please.
Yeah. If you have not investigated the expensive university that is GW, do not let that, hinder you from wanting to go. I'm sure you can get a scholarship.
Yes, please.
Can more go, please? Anybody want to be in the FBI, government?
Yeah, something. Just go.
Politics, go to George Washington. Thank you.
Yes, please.
Just throwing that out there.
Yes.
Kendall Whitman on beam.
Her series is so fast. Like literally, she connects that so fast. Aerial roundoff that is like, boom. Like literally, there's nothing. It's just
front aerial roundoff.
Front aerial roundoff. Yes. I mean, there's nothing. It's just like it's like she's on the floor doing an aerial roundoff, front aerial roundoff. It's awesome. Like
I want to go back and watch like all her club routines.
That's what I was saying. I'm like
what do they look like? I mean, we know the vault, but like, what does everything else look like? Like,
I know.
Were you doing this stuff? Like,
yeah. I don't know. I know there's got to be other teams out there that were into her, but maybe there was something at George Washington that she just wanted academically. But
I would like to know Kendall Whitman. I mean, she graduated last year. This was her 5th year.
Correct.
Why did you choose George Washington? And if there's anybody listening from George Washington, Kylie, can you tell us? Can you find out? I need to know why George Washington.
Yeah, so we can promote you and promote the program for other people to go there so we can watch more.
We clearly are an advocate of G-Dub.
Yes.
And they have nice Leos.
They do.
So let's just keep this rolling.
Yep. We've talked about Carly Bauman's straight leg side summy. Apparently Kim fell in love with it this week. I love it. However, I did fall in love with the very huge side summy of Lily Peterson from OU. That was enormous. I mean, you know how you sometimes land a little bit squatty or like sometimes chest forward on some side summies. And I still like them, even though some people don't, even when they do them like that. This was huge. Just standing straight up and down. It was gorgeous. I don't know if you saw the San Jose beam lineup, but Devin from San Jose does a beautiful front tuck on the beam, as an acro skill. Very similar to what Maddie would do if she would be doing it. It was gorgeous, nice and high, landing stepping tall. And they had an exhibition athlete do a front tuck mount onto the beam. So you talked about GW doing mounts. SJ has, San Jose has some of those as well. Sophia from San Jose exhibition routine did a very nice front tuck on. Another Sophia, but this one from Oregon State, Kim, did switch leap, standing switch leap, standing layout step out. So switch leap, the standing split switch jump to a standing.
So a switch split, not a switch leap.
Yes.
So
switch split. Yes.
Switch leap, split.
Standing layout step out.
Wow.
Beautiful series, absolutely gorgeous, and stuck it cold, and then a beautiful stuck double twist dismount off beam. So I love a good stuck double full. Jennifer McMillan did a front toss to Corbett, another front toss to Corbett this week, and the commentator did say Corbett that one.
Oh,
did.
good.
So at SG, but Jennifer McMillan, if I'm not mistaken, is Oregon State, but the commentator said Corbett. So, and then Gabby Van Freyen will not be the only NCAA athlete apparently next year to do a back handspring and noti, because Madison Kirsch of San Jose does one as well. And I did not notice that. And I watched San Jose a few weeks ago and I missed this routine. So
Does Biz still do her noti?
Well, we don't know because Biz doesn't. She did exhibition. We have no idea. I've not seen a routine, so maybe she does. But she does a noti from a stand. She doesn't do a noti from an acro skill. So,
but she
hopefully
could.
she could. Well, she has done it because she's done it into like backhanding layout step out, and front aerial, like all kinds of things. She can, but Gabby has been competing back handspring notis and scoring tens in club. And this is the first time, and it kind of caught me off guard. And I guess Madison didn't compete in the beam lineup, or I missed it the last time we watched San Jose. But a gorgeous back handspring noti on beam. So that was fun to watch, and hats off to that, because that series is not easy, but it's very impressive, very impressive. So, all right, we have some floor stuff that I know caught your eye from basically all three meets that we watched. So.
Well, yes, but we're gonna start with the Michigan OU and Peyton Davis. Hello. Her routine is so good. And she's like, her choreography is very interesting and very like intricate and fast paced, fast moving. But the way she moves her wrists, like, I feel like they just go like, like she can just, because if you watch, like, she has very long limbs, very long arms, very long legs, but like I don't know, there was just something about it, just like the way she moves her wrists, a little flick of the wrist. But I really enjoyed her, and I'm glad to see that she was in the floor lineup. It's just her wrists for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's been relatively recently, and she's come in more since. I know when Paige had the foot problem in that one meet where she had to stop and hasn't been back on either event, floor or vault. I think Peyton stepped in that lineup then after then and has been competing. But I know she's been in the last few weeks. So, and she's also in the beam exhibition. So maybe she's in beam and she vaults. So she's doing 3 events for Michigan, which is cool.
Yeah.
So
I very much enjoyed her.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sophia Diaz on floor.
Yes. I wish she would have bigger tumbling, but.
But I don't watch that. I watch the dance, the performance, and the calculated movements.
Yes.
Oh, speaking of movements, oh my God, what did this one? Oh, listen, so funny. Did I not put it in there? Okay. On beam, we're gonna rewind for a hot second. Ellie Monahan does beam, right? She did the front toss Corbett, yes, and then she did something else, a wolf jumper or whatever. The commentator goes, "That's some great positionality." What in the world is positionality? Are we making up words?
It's a personality of a position.
Or a position of a personality?
Personality. Or maybe she has multiple personalities on balance beam.
She might. But I just thought that was funny. I'm just like.
Yes. The words.
Positionality. Okay. Maybe I'll add that to my list of things to say tomorrow. Who knows?
Maybe.
Anyways. That was my side note. I forgot about it. I had to go back up. But Sophie Diaz, absolutely love her. Enjoy watching her on floor. I don't care about her tumbling. Just dance, girl. Just dance. Kendall Whitman. She has 3 E-passes. Like, why? And, I mean, good for you. Do we need 3 E-passes? No. But we have them.
Because you do them well.
so much power. However, we don't need to cowboy the double front. It's fine. You don't need to. Just put those right together. It's fine. I do not like a cowboying double front, but
yes, but I find it amazing that she's not the only double front on GW's team. Casey Burke does one as well, and I'm like, I think that Haley Bryant went to the wrong school? Haley Bryant should have gone to GW. Then everyone got all the double fronts right there. Who knows? Maybe she was going to until SU picked her up. I don't know.
Maybe. You know what though? Like, I think GW needs to start using like the tagline of like, "Hey, level 10s, do you have unique skills?
Yes.
We're the place for you."
For you. Exactly. They should. And Kendall's the fly spring, handspring step out that she does, like after her first pass, I think, in the choreography, she goes like fly spring,
when she does
handspring step out.
Like that, but she does it like to her knee.
Knee, yeah. I think it's just cool. It's just fun.
Her routine. She's another one, nonstop. She's a little bouncing jelly bean, and I get tired just watching.
Yep.
I had to take a nap after that one.
Yeah, but no, that was fun. It's just cool that there's also 2 double fronts. So Bryant, you went to the wrong school. Not really, but you went to the wrong school. Just for one event. Actually, vault. You could have done vault too there.
Yeah, it's got one of them interesting vaults.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, Delaney DeHane from... Oh, she's from GW. Yes, from GW. Yep. Oh my God, I had a brain fart. She has the music Ramalama. Oh my God, that is like... I love when people have that music because it's always going to be like an interesting routine, like very dramatic but very different choreography. Let me tell you, that is one. Do you know that song?
I do, yes.
Oh good.
I remember watching this routine. Now I couldn't sing it in my head, but I do know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, it's from many seasons ago of So You Think You Can Dance, and it was amazing. But she does that front layout step out, which I love. I know we've seen it before, but I love it every time.
No,
very
cool. Yeah, it is cool.
Clemson, Madison Minor. She had some very interesting, very cool down to the floor choreography. She did like a pike shushin over to the floor, and then she like spun around right away and then rolled around some more. I very much enjoyed it. Just saying. And then we have the floor stylings of Shea Campbell and Brooklyn Moores. Not at this meet at all. No. But side note, Shea Campbell went back to using her freshman floor routine, which, as you should, because that was the best one. And again, why are we a graduate? Do we have to graduate? And there's not going to be anyone ever again in the gymnastics sphere like Brooklyn Moores. Just when she graduates and is done, the world is going to mourn the loss of her beautiful gymnastics and floor routine. We're going to have a ceremony because there's not anybody else going to be coming ever like Brooklyn Moores. I stand on that mountain and I will die on it.
All right. So we'll have to have a ceremony on the College Sleuth podcast for Brooklyn Moores.
I will be wearing the last day I will be wearing all
graduation.
Black.
Well, let's move on to some more happy news. So Bree from Clemson, we did not get to see the layout, double layout half out, the Biles. Very upsetting about that.
She did it once. She made her history, and now
I
she's
know
done with
it's
it.
very upsetting. I was hoping we would, but a very nice double layout. But as I already mentioned, like Tara, she has the front layout, full front tuck as a last pass, and that's just really cool. It's just really cool combination. Jackson from Clemson, this caught the commentators off guard. They could not wrap their head around that she does a full out. They called it a half in, half out. They called it
a full in.
Full in, right. And then they realized that was not right. But then they called it a half in, half out. But they said, but it's really late. But it's like a late half in, half out. I'm like, it's a full out. But they could not wrap their minds around that. I was like, whatever.
I had to go back and watch it because, like, when I was watching it in the little tiny itty bitty baby screen with the people in the way. But yeah.
Yes.
And then she grabs on her double back. Like, she does it very open.
I know.
And then grabs on the double back at the end.
Yes.
I don't think we need to do that.
No, you don't. But anyway, that was just cracked me up that the commentators were just struggling with what to call this skill, and they never got it, so it was not correct. A late half in, half out. No, that's a full out. That's
a late half in, half out. Opposed to an early one.
Yes. We got to see Madison Gasitis compete floor. She's competed a little bit at the beginning of the season, and then middle of the season she's taken off. The last few weeks she's come back. Double pike, no full in, obviously shins issues, but very nice double pike, a little short. Front through to double pike. Or double tuck last pass, she bounced out of bounds. So a lot of energy going on there. And I'm still upset there's no backspin. She still has that kick over front to the feet shimmy around that my daughter does in her floor routine. But toe dance, I call it. But,
where do you think I got that from? Because I gave that to her, remember?
Oh, yes, the toe dance, I call it. But anyway, no backspin, very sad. I mean, I thought it was like, because she kind of like looks like she's going to spin, and then she just turns and stands up. I'm like, dang it, no backspin. So,
yeah.
But she did do bars this year, and I didn't even realize that. I went back to see scores. I want to know the last time she did floor. She actually ended up competing floor last week as well. But she did bars like in week 3, and I did not know that. So,
Did she do her double layout?
I have absolutely no idea because that's the only. She went 9.65, I think, and that's the only bar routine that she's done all year. So, So anyway. But that's pretty much all they did that, and that's a lot. And again, go watch GW because they're awesome.
They are.
We've already talked about Region 5 University, which of course was presented by Full Out Recruiting. Full Out Recruiting, they are focused on helping their clients reach their college gymnastics goals with resources and guidance to athletes, coaches, and parents. Through the college recruiting process, they go full out to make the experience a fun and productive one. Thank you to Full Out Recruiting for sponsoring the College Salute podcast and your continued support of the Region 5 media platform. And check out their social media because they have lots of trips. They have lots of tricks and things to know, especially during this time period, the championship time, of what you should be doing to make sure the college coaches know what's going on and updating them. They have lots of different things and drills and stuff for you to do for that. So go check them out on their IG Full Out Recruiting. Actually, I think it's just Full Out Recruit is their IG. So for week 11, our R5 University lineup will feature Ball State EMU, since Kim will be commentating, and that's tomorrow night. If this is Thursday, we're recording. So tomorrow she will be at EMU for lots of cheers of senior night, Ella Shamate's last meet in EMU's building, and there'll be a lot. So anyway, EMU Ball State will go watch Kent State, Pitt, West Virginia, and Ohio State. We've not really watched some of West Virginia and Pitt. We have one alum at each of them competing currently. And so hopefully they will do at least their events that they're doing, maybe some more. I'd like to see Olivia on floor at Pitt. We'll see. But Kent, Pitt, West Virginia, and Ohio State, and then NIU, CMU. And so we're doing a little bit of a preview for the following week, which will be MAC Championships, which of course we will highlight that competition in week 12. But just a good mix of MAC teams here, as well as a few, like I said, we haven't seen or watched much of. And then we're going to discuss UCLA, Utah. Because obviously that's a big one on the docket this week, and that will be fun to watch. Ball State, EMU, Kent State, Pitt, West Virginia, Ohio State, and NIU, CMU for next week's Region 5 University lineup. All right, Kim, MVP for this week. I struggled to decide if I was going to go lineup or just go with just random, but I'm going to give it to Kennedy O'Connor because she has come back from her neck injury and has won vault again at a major championship and is looking good to go into nationals, and hopefully she can at least finish in the top 5 so she can All-American or whatever their All-American is, but maybe she can win. But Kennedy O'Connor, she's done a great job coming back. She works very, very hard, and I'm just proud of her. So I'm giving her my MVP this week for her vault championship at the WIAC.
Alrighty. Wow. I'm going with the lineup based on the lineup because it was just too many to pick from. And, really I want to pick somebody that's not Region 5, but I can't because it's the Region 5 Insider podcast. So I personally am going with Faith Torres because she killed it this week yet again.
Yes, leads our lineup at all 4 events. So
yeah, so that is what it is.
Kennedy O'Connor, congratulations on your win at WIAC on vault, and Faith Torres just being Faith Torres as always.
Yep.
The best college stick, stay, and slay for week 10.
Well, since you didn't put any, I have Cassie, from Penn State on bars, obviously. She stuck, she stayed. Her and the team slayed. Yes. Mm-hmm. And then I also have Olivia Gunta on vault from Pitt. She stuck her Yurchenko frill, and it was amazing. And then I'm adding one that I forgot about and she's not Region 5, but Audrey Davis on floor. She stuck, stayed, slayed, and then dabbed. Oh, and did you see that Jordan Bowers, she bowed to the crowd? Oh my God.
She did. She did bow to the crowd, yes.
Life. I love that.
That was definitely a slay for sure.
Yes, but I really liked Audrey's, I liked her little dab at the end. Yes. Jordan Bowers bowing to the crowd. That's literally, it's the end of her floor routine anyways. Mm-hmm. And my last year I did floor. That was the end of my floor routine for one of them. But I did think it was funny, and then she kept bowing to the crowd. But yes. Yeah, so those are mine. Cassie, Olivia, and Audrey Davis.
All right. So good ones. And we get to see Olivia Gunta next week.
Oh my God. But side note, Cassie's dad has one of those Penn State washboard abs shirts with the jacket. He is one of those dads. I love that for him.
Yes, he is. Mike is good people. He is hilarious, and he's good people.
He is good people.
And so I'm glad he won't have very many more meets for gymnastics to watch, but I know he is a stitch in the crowd for softball.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yes, I've heard it, and I haven't seen it yet, but I would love to if Michaela ever comes out here to Illinois or something and plays. I would love to go watch a game, but I'm sure Mike is crazy, but yeah.
So. I wonder, does he wear the same, are there a whole nother set of dads in the softball
I'm sure
realm he's just always the S?
Maybe. I don't know.
I have so many questions.
No clue. So, well, that wraps up week 10. One more week of competition before championship time. So it's getting there, getting close.
We know you enjoy our podcast and want more people to find out how awesome it is because, duh. So please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to the Region 5 Insider Podcast. Thanks again to Full Out Recruiting for your continued support, as well as all of our listeners. We could not do this without your support. Follow us on all of our social media accounts. I mean all. Follow them all. Like all of them, please. To stay most up-to-date information on what is going on with our Region 5 alums all season long.
Thanks again for joining us for our Week 10 recap. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and start watching and listening to us because it's fun. And, of course, follow our IG page to keep your support up for our alums going all season long. Look forward to Week 11 and a bit of a MAC championship preview, with next week being the last regular season competition. But, of course, we will continue our spine-saving coverage of our Region 5 alums throughout the postseason. Talk to you next week. Follow, like, and subscribe. Peace out. Region 5.
5, 5, 5, 5, 5.